The insect only bit the boy lightly. The boy's handsome face began to swell instantly, although he carried a medical kit with him. The toxin spread too quickly. His vision began to blur. However, his father was monitoring his every move. Under his patient guidance, little Jia managed to inject the first antidote into his heart. By the time he was ready to inject the second dose, his arm had completely lost sensation. With no other option, he threw himself forward, using his own momentum to force the antidote into his body. Fortunately, the antidote worked in time, and he soon returned to normal. But now, an even greater crisis was quietly approaching. Every night, the surface temperature would plummet to freezing point. Xiao Jia must quickly reach the heat spot 10 kilometers away, or he will freeze to death in the wilderness. The reason why Will placed his son in this harsh wilderness was entirely due to an accident. Just yesterday, Will was traveling through space with a group of people when they unexpectedly encountered a planetary storm. The spaceship's engine was struck by a meteorite and lost power. With no other choice, they had to traverse a wormhole to find a nearby planet for an emergency landing. However, during the traverse, a large number of meteorites followed them, not only tearing through the spaceship's hull, but also causing the spaceship to split in two due to the pressure. When Xiao Jia awoke from his coma, he discovered that all his teammates had perished. His father, Will, had also broken his leg and lost the ability to move. It wasn't until they activated the spacecraft's control system and released the remote reconnaissance drone that they discovered the planet they had landed on was Earth, which humans had abandoned 1,000 years ago. There were no longer any human traces here, so they could only seek help from the Space Rescue Force. However, their only beacon had been damaged and could no longer be activated. Now, their only hope lies in the rear section of the spacecraft, 100 kilometers away, where there is a backup beacon. However, reaching it will not be easy. Will is severely injured and unable to move, so they must rely on the inexperienced Xiao Jia. Nevertheless, with advanced communication equipment and Will's remote guidance, they should be able to complete the task successfully. Compared to 1,000 years ago, humans on Earth are no longer well adapted to the environment. Even breathing requires protection from specially formulated breathing fluid, and every night, the surface temperature plummets to freezing levels. They must reach the marked location before nightfall to avoid freezing to death in the wilderness. But these dangers are not the most perilous, for within the cage at the rear of the spacecraft lies a ferocious monster